Hi everyone, we're going to be doing a moon flow today. So we'll start in child's pose. Begin to connect with your breath. Really settle in here. Tapping into our Ujjayi breathing and centering the mind. And then we'll put the palms of the hands together and then just bend into the elbows until the thumbs reach the back of the neck. Really try to scoot your elbows forward so that you're getting a stretch in the armpits and in the upper arms, so the triceps. Sink in, take some deep breaths. Straighten back out through the arms. And then begin to walk both arms over to the left, feeling this nice deep stretch in the right side body. Try and keep both shoulders level. Maybe placing the right hand on top of the left just to intensify through the stretch. You can keep the eyes closed here. And then walk the arms back through center and over to the right. Keeping the shoulders level, feeling the stretch in the left side body, and taking the left hand on top of the right if you want something a little bit deeper. And bring the arms back through center. And then come up onto all fours, stacking shoulders above wrists, hips above knees, untucking the toes, and then taking some cat-cow. So as you take a deep inhale, arch through the back, and as you exhale, round through the spine, bringing the chin towards the chest. Do this a few more times, breath to movement. So inhaling to our cow pose, and exhaling to cat. Breath to movement, inhaling and exhaling. Push the mat away with the hands. And then come back to a neutral spine. Plant the left hand to the center of the mat. And then inhale, sweep the right arm all the way up. And then as you exhale, thread the needle. So taking the right arm underneath, coming onto the right side of the face, and finding the stretch in the right upper shoulder. If you want to take the bind as well, you can take the left hand behind the back. Maybe hook it to the inside of the right thigh. Take some nice deep breaths here. Feel the stretch in the outer upper shoulder. And release, come back round, plant the left hand. Inhale, sweep the right arm back up, and then bring it back down. Other side, so plant the right hand to the center of the mat. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, and then as you exhale, thread the needle, coming down onto the left shoulder and the left side of the face. Settle in here, and if you want to take the bind, you're wrapping the right arm behind your back, and maybe you can hook it to the inside of the left thigh. Otherwise, just let it rest at the lower back. And then unwind if you took the bind. Plant the right hand, inhale, the left arm sweeps back up, and then bring it back down. We're just going to extend the right leg straight out behind, tuck the toes under, and then push into the heel. If you want to push into the hands and lift that left knee up, you can as well. Just trying to find length in the back of the leg. And release, Take it to the other side, lengthen out through the left leg, tuck the toes, and then push the heel. Maybe lift in the right knee, finding the stretch at the back of the left leg. And release. Now lengthen back out through the right leg and hover it. And then bring that right foot through to step in between the hands. You can tuck the left toes under to protect the knee. We're not going to go super deep in this low lunge, so you can keep pretty upright. Let's take a few breaths, making sure the right knee is stacked above the right ankle. And then we'll take a twist, so bringing the right arm to point towards the back and the left arm to the front, so we're twisting over to the right. Inhale, bring the arms back up, and exhale to the other side, so twisting over to the left. Inhale, bring arms back up. Exhale, plant the hands. Step that right foot back, tabletop. Moving to the other side, lengthen out through the left leg. And then slowly bend into the left knee and bring that foot in between the hands. So squeezing into the belly and then stepping in between the hands. And then tucking those back toes and coming up. Again, we're not going super deep. This is going to be a really gentle flow. So take your time. Find length here. And then as you exhale, we're twisting over to the left. So left hand comes behind you, right arm in front. Inhaling back to center and then exhaling to the other side. So twisting over to the right. Bring the arms back through center and then plant them down on the ground. Step that foot back. And then we're going to come to standing on our knees. Take our arms up, take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, we're taking child's pose, but we've got the arms and the hands pointing behind us. And then take an inhale, sweep the arms in front, lengthen them out, and then exhale, we're going to snake our way forward into a low cobra. And then exhale, tabletop. Do that a few more times. So come up to standing on the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, take the arms back behind you, coming into child's pose. Forehead comes down onto the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, lengthen out. And then as you exhale, snake your way forward into a low cobra. Little back bend here. And then exhaling back to our tabletop. Inhale, come up onto the knees, arms sweep up. Exhale, arms come behind you, child's pose. Inhale, draw the arms forward. And exhale, snake your way forward. Stay nice and low, coming into our low cobra. Or you can take it high if it feels like your back is warmed up enough. And then coming back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, arms come behind, child's pose. And then as you take a big inhale, sweep the arms forward, find length in the spine. And then snake your way, stay nice and low as you come into low cobra, medium cobra, or high cobra if your back's feeling ready and warmed up. And then coming back to our tabletop. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up, find length. Exhale, arms behind us, child's pose. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Exhale, stay nice and low, coming all the way into our back bend, cobra. This time, we're going to tuck under the toes and come into our first downward facing dog. So find movement here. You can pedal out the heels. Take a little twist in the hips, anything that feels needed in your first downward facing dog. We won't be taking very many of these, so just take your time. Take some nice deep breaths. And then we'll begin to take some baby steps all the way to the front of the mat, bringing us into a little forward fold. Take a nice deep bend in the knees. Find a release in the lower back. And then just sway from side to side. Feel the weight of the head, arms heavy, taking opposite elbow with opposite hand. And then we'll slowly begin to roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae, stacking on top of one another. Head comes up last. Coming into standing. And then we'll turn to face the side, because in our moon salutations, we're moving from side to side instead of from front to back. Hands come to heart center. Find stability. Close the eyes for a couple of breaths. And then open the eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, lean over to the right. Little side bend. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, lean over to the other side, to the left. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Ground into the right foot. Lift the right foot up and step to the side so you come into this low squat. So the toes are pointing out. Nice deep bend in the knees. Hands at heart center. And then straighten through the legs, sweep the arms. And then you're going to point the right foot out, bring the left foot in slightly, coming into triangle pose. So both legs are straight. You're trying to stack the shoulders. So if that means keeping your right hand on top of your shin or your ankle, if you can reach the ground and still keep the hips stacking and the shoulders stacking, then do that. You can look up at the top thumb. We don't have a huge amount of space between the feet. We're keeping it nice and gentle. Taking some breaths, and then we're going to sweep that left arm up and over so it plants on the ground. Slightly move that back heel out so that you're squaring off the hips, and you can stay up with the hands on the hips. You can keep your hands on your shin, or if you can reach the ground, you can have fingertips on the ground. You can also have a bend in the front knee if you want to. Folding forward if you have the space. This is our pyramid pose. And then coming halfway, lift, walk that left foot back a little bit, coming into our low lunge. And this time you can take it a little bit deeper, finding a deep stretch in this left quad. Arms come up. Have padding under the knee if you need to. You can use a towel. Sink down in the hips. And then bring the hands back down onto the mat. And then turn so that you're in a side lunge or skandasana. You can take it deep like this, bringing the hands to heart center. Or you can come up. You don't have to get really deep if it doesn't feel comfortable for your knee. And you can keep the fingertips on the ground for stability. Let's move into skandasana on the other side. So going into a side lunge on the other side. And again, you can stay up with the fingertips on the ground. You don't have to go super deep. And then let's go into a low lunge to the other side. So this time our right leg is back, left leg is forward. Arms come up, keeping the left knee on top of the left ankle, and get nice and deep in this one. And again, keep padding under the knee if it's uncomfortable. Bring the hands down. Step that right foot in a little bit. coming into our pyramid pose. So hips are square, both legs are straight. You can stay up with the hands on the hips. You can bring the hands onto the shin or bring the hands all the way down. We're trying to get both legs straight, but if you need a little bend in this front leg, you can. Just do anything you can to make it comfortable. Don't try and force anything. And then moving into our triangle pose. So keep the left hand either on the shin or on the ground and sweep the right arm up so that your shoulders are stacking. Just check that your hips are on top of one another. Both legs are straight. Looking up at that top hand if it's not painful for your neck. And then coming up, grounding into the feet and coming all the way up. Point the toes out again, coming into this deep squat. We call it a prayer squat. Lengthen through the legs and then step to the left side of the mat. Arms come up, inhale. Exhale, side bend over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale to center. And then bring the hands down through heart center. We're going to do that sequence again until we get back to where we started, to the right side of the mat. So we'll take another moon flow. Take some breaths. Close down the eyes. Center yourself and then open the eyes. Sweep the arms up. Hands to touch. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale to center. Bring the hands down. Ground into the left foot. Pick the right leg up and step it all the way to the side. Toes point out. Prayer squat. Get nice and low. And this time bring the hands on top of the knees. Lean forward slightly. And then bring one of the shoulders in through center. Look behind you over the left. Come to center. Dip that left shoulder in. We're just stretching through the shoulders here. Looking out over the right. Come back to center. Straighten through the legs. We're going to be walking the left foot in a little bit. Point the right toes to the short edge of the mat, coming into our triangle pose. So our left hand is on our shin, all the ground, right arm sweeps up, stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips, both legs are straight. Trikonasana. And slowly sweep that right arm forward until it comes down onto the mat. Take that back heel so it points to the back of the mat slightly so that you can square off your hips. So your right toes will be pointing towards the top right corner of your mat. Pyramid pose. Have as much of a bend in this front knee as you need. We're trying to get both legs straight, but really, whatever keeps it comfortable for you. And then walk that right foot towards the back of the mat so you're lengthening out your stance and coming into a low lunge so you're dropping that back knee down. Take some breaths. Try and get nice and deep into this back quad. And then bringing the hands down onto the mat so you can come into your Skandasana. Again, you can be a little bit more upright and have your hands on the ground to help you. There's no need to go deeper than you can or deeper than you want to. This is not a competition. And then transition over to the other side. So Skandasana to the right. or side lunge. We don't have to know the Sanskrit names. And then coming into low lunge with the right foot leading, left foot back, drop the back knee, sink in, shoulders stay away from the ears. And then bring the hands down to frame that front foot. Coming up, walk that left foot in so that your stance is slightly shorter, and coming into our pyramid pose. So left toes are pointing towards the top left corner of the mat. Hips are square, so you're slightly pulling the left hip forward, right hip back. Finding length here, and then coming up, keeping that right hand on your shin or your ankle or the ground, and then we're opening up into triangle. So just sweeping that left arm up, stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips. Gazing up at that top hand if you can. And then grounding through the legs and coming up. Pointing the toes out, coming back into our prayer squat. Stay nice and low. And then straighten through the legs and step yourself to the right side of the mat. Sweep the arms up, inhale, exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale through center, exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale through center, and then hands come to the heart. And then we will come to a seat and then roll down onto your back. And then just cup the knees with your hands and just sort of draw some circles with the knees so that you can massage out through the lower back. And then bring the right ankle on top of the left knee. We're just going to take reclined pigeon here. So bringing the hands to the back of the left leg. Keep the right foot flexed so that you protect the knee joint. And then try and just draw this shape into your chest until you feel this nice opening in your right hip. Remembering to take some nice deep breaths here. And release. Cross that right leg on top of the left and then take both knees over to the left. Arms come out to a T. Gaze over to the right. For a little supine twist just to neutralize through the spine. And come back and take it over to the other side. So left ankle comes on top of the right knee. Flex into that left foot as you take your hands to the back of the right leg. And then just use your arms to just draw this shape close into your chest. And breathe into the left hip. And slowly begin to release. Cross that left leg on top of the right and take both knees over to the right as you take your arms out to a T and gaze over to the left. And then bring the legs back through center and lengthen them out as we come into Shavasana. So let the feet fall open, arms come down by the sides, palms face up. Just pick the shoulder blades up off the mat and set them down again. And we're going to be taking Shavasana together. So we're closing down the eyes. I really encourage you to stay with it. It's only going to be a couple of minutes. Release the breath and just relax every muscle in the body. So scan your body. Find the areas of tension that you might still be holding and just release. Melt into the mat. And when you feel like you've released all of the tension, just try and go a little bit deeper. And then we will begin to wiggle through the toes and the fingertips. Sweep the arms up overhead, stretch it out. And then draw the knees into the chest. Begin to roll over onto one side, using your arm as a pillow. Just take a couple of moments here just to acknowledge your practice and give gratitude to your practice. And then slowly push yourself up, coming into a comfortable seat. Keep the eyes closed. Just let the hands rest on top of the knees. And we'll take our cleansing breath here, so really deep inhale through the nose. Let it out of the mouth. Bring the hands through heart center. Bow forward. Thank you for practicing with me.